do, Mark, man. I know, I fault you.
So I'm going to try this again. I accidentally put my license plates and my neighbor's license plates and all that in my video yesterday. And my guess is that I probably don't want to do that. So, if you can see Hoshi over there, to me you can barely see her, but this is Scuff over here. Scuff. He's pretty attentive. That box was given to me by a neighbor over there like 5 years ago, and I stuffed it in this groove behind the shed over here and unassembled and forgot about it. Just kind of blew it off. Didn't really think that much about it. Always thought, well, you know, someday I might put that together. I know it's a cheap one, but you know, I always thought, well, it'll come in handy. So this is my home for the last 12 years. It's a 1979 modular or mobile home, modular by definition, because it basically means that it has a code and the wiring is up to date. Instead of newspaper, they use actual insulation. In 1978, they changed the law on building these things. But I bought this place because it was extremely cheap. I had a lot of debt. I really wanted to have a nice yard for my dogs. I was living in a condo up in Boulder. It was costing me $900 a month plus utilities. And so, you know, when I moved in, I thought, oh God, I'm just going to have to get rid of that really cheesy plastic brick and paint the place, but I never got around to it. So, also behind the shed yesterday, I pulled out this giant pile of logs that's been there since before I moved in, and this huge hunk of concrete that I have been tripping over for the last 12 years. But basically, to give you an idea, not only this is all the stuff I'm pulling out of cracks and crevices. I work on my own cars, I fix my own trucks, do all my own yard work. I camp, I fish. You know, I've just, over the years, everything just seems to always pile up. This thing right here was a transmission computer I pulled out for my car. This 91 Accord right here. I got it at a junkyard because my tranny was slipping, and it turned out that it was actually that the filter, the metal screen filter in the transmission, was picking up a bunch of pieces of, you know, whatever junk that had gotten in there and clogging up, and therefore not pumping transmission fluid at the right pressure. And so I just put a new tranny in, and I actually did that over in that guy's yard over there like 5 years ago, I think it was. I also did a top-end rebuild on that Honda right after I bought it. All this excess wood that I had in the shed, but it was in my way. Garden tools. See that area back there? It was just full of nothing but logs and that thing. Radiator that I had from my old Honda Accord. I figured maybe one day I'd put it in my new Honda Accord. This tree's been here longer than the modular home park, or mobile home park, I should say. The shed was put together with nothing but junk wood. That's an old camper window. This back here, I did last year. It was my first garden. This right here is a compost heap under that underneath that black plastic. 4 bags are leaves from last year. This is a big heap of pine needles, which work great as weed blocker, you know, like a mulch. Here's my inside. Believe it or not, this looks vacant compared to the amount of stuff I had in here a couple weeks ago. My grandma gave me these couches. They're really, really well built. Came from a high-end company. I got the table from the neighbor. TV was free, and I fixed it so that it works and has a nice picture. These speakers I got from an ex-coworker. I built this kitty condo out of 1 sheet of plywood, 2 2x4s, and an old fence post, and then I got all the carpet from a carpet store leftovers bin, and that plant came from my neighbor. She passed away a few years ago, but it's quite the bush. Stereo equipment is kind of on the way out. Stack of speakers that are for sale, old power supplies, you know, just your basic junk that I'm trying to get rid of. This is my 15-year-old massive jade plant. I've been trying to actually sell it. Most of my plants I'm just going to give away, but this thing's like 3.5 feet wide and almost 3 feet tall. Really nice, like $60 pot I put it in. Flowering Christmas cactus. My pathos that I spread across the room across the ceiling. It's just a stupid corn cane. I broke the head off the clown, but that's a really old aloe plant. I haven't decided if I'm going to take that to the boat or not, but it might very well. Stuff can be pretty useful, and it might like San Francisco better than Colorado. I filled this freezer halfway up with that garden out there last year. So, look at that old sealing meal I found in the cabinet. I didn't even know I had it. So, yeah, been going along, trying to go through all of my stuff. I have a habit of collecting, see, those acorns are still from last year. I gotta eat them pretty soon. So's that, I didn't grow that butternut. I just bought it at the store. But that old antique two-sided waffle iron, this old antique toaster oven, I love that thing. I've got this fan will go with me. This uses half the power of a standard plug-in plastic fan you'd buy at, like Walmart, and yet it blows a phenomenal amount of air, almost dead silent, and the blades are almost not moving. It was made in, I think, like 1956. It's a Emerson Electric. Great little fan. Got it from a neighbor as well. I found that in my shed, that painting back there. It was a friend of mine who wanted me to store it like 8 years ago, and I just realized I still had the thing. Yes, I like Ron Paul. But that's basically what this is. One of the fullest rooms. This room was cram-packed. It's got the dog's dirt line. Yuck. But my desk, I used to have a fish tank in that corner. This hallway used to have stuff on the walls other than just coffee bag, decorative coffee bag. This is my room full of stuff I have on Craigslist right now. Well, and some of the stuff in the other room as well. But rooms are being vacated, eliminated of stuff. It's definitely an interesting thing to do with your life, to liquidate your massive piles of collected stuff. And old beat up dartboard, old but not beat up dartboard. Anyway, hopefully within the next couple of weeks I've gotten rid of all of this stuff. I'm going to start moving some of the stuff that hasn't sold off Craig's over the last week onto eBay. I just didn't want to have to ship it. I was kind of hoping people just show up and buy it in person. Obviously this meat slicer is well used, buried over here in the corner. That'll be sold too. All these cabinets are all empty. Everything's pretty much empty at this point. Anyway, there you go. I'm also going to do some work to my mobile home before I sell it. Replace the tiles in here. Fix this leak in the roof that's making the ceiling come down right here. There's a soft spot in the hallway back there that I'm going to pull up the carpet and repair that. Make sure that it's in as good a shape around here as possible before I sell. But not only for your benefit, but for my very own. This is documentation of what it was like when I was leaving here. And one of my favorite items, my Bowflex. Talk to you later.